Greetings, everyone, and welcome to my Feng Shui Toolkit, where we are going to be talking about person, space, time, and universe so that you can improve the yin and yang of your business. And what I mean by that is that you need to come up with your great idea. You need to do your marketing and your business plan, and I'm going to help you with the metaphysical side. And that's going to be looking at your astrology chart, which is the person, the space, which is feng shui, and that's how you achieve your goals. Well, they're all about achieving your goals. And then trigger the energy with timing, so finding a good date and time to make the best of all of your efforts, and then using your universal gateway to tap into universal intelligence. Hi, my name is Kathleen Horvath-Zamansky, and I'm a business feng shui master and astrologer. And if you're here for the first time, welcome to my channel. So really, I have decided because we're going through such an incredible time shift right now, I thought it would be very useful to my followers and my tribe. And if you are new to me, one of the first things you want to do is go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you like what you hear. But what we're trying to do here is really looking at all aspects of business, because we're beyond, as I alluded to before, we're really beyond just having a marketing plan and a business plan. We really need to bring in all of these tools that have been the competitive edge for centuries, and I'm just making them accessible in standard business English. So the first thing, and today, and I split up all of the days just so you kind of know the lay of the land, if you will. We're going to talk about astrology today, feng shui tomorrow. We're going to talk about the TimeBlazr and timing, and I'll give you a couple of good dates on Wednesday. Thursday we'll do the universal gateway, which is always a meditation. So it really is looking at yourself, your office, your business in a very holistic manner, and that's really amazing. And then on Friday, I have my assistant Alice and we come on for Q&A. So anytime throughout the week, if you have any questions to ask that you want answers to from what we can help you with, go ahead and put them into the comments. And anything else that you'd like to share with us, like what's going on in your business right now and how can we best help you, then go ahead and put those in the comments as well. And then we will hopefully be able to get to your questions and comments on Friday. All right, so we're going to start with astrology. And step number one is it would be really advisable for you to go ahead and grab your astrology chart. And you can get that at freebusinessastrology.com. And I am going to show you a sample chart very quickly. So this is what your chart is going to look at. And there's a lot of information on this chart. But the question that came in to I don't know, about a week or so ago, they asked me a question about this particular archetype. So let me just explain a little bit while we go through this person's chart. And I've removed any personal information, so they are protected from that. So, and this is something I also want to warn you about as well. Please, please, please never put your date of birth in anyone's chat, even if they ask you that publicly. You can, reach out to us at Kathleen@5elementsgroup.com. Alice, maybe go ahead and put that in the comments so if people want to reach out. But we do want you to ask your questions here online if you can. That would be really helpful. All right. So, and you need to ask me, the correct question. And here are the rules of the game to get your question answered like this, because this person's going to get a little bit of a mini read from me, which I could, very easily charge money for this. So the rules of the game are this: that you need to like the post, you need to share the post, and you need to also comment. So, and you need to do that throughout the upcoming weeks. And this is how we're going to help each other, right? Because I realize some of you really, just would like to have some information that can get you started and then, get things moving for you. All right. So her question was, and I'm paraphrasing this a little bit. I could have written down the exact words, but really what she's very concerned about is this dial right here. And it is one of the archetypes that we will be looking at throughout this series. And this particular person is someone who had said that she had, had a really great job and it was really making her a lot of money. And all of a sudden, she just decided to change course and become an entrepreneur. And then when she ran her chart through my software, she found out that she has 0% entrepreneurship. And should she go back to working for someone versus staying where she's at? Now, before you jump back, let's talk a little bit about some logistics here. So first of all, when you're looking at someone's chart, you're looking at the year, month, day, and hour of birth. And so it's very important for you to understand what these pillars mean. They mean so many things as far as personal and health and strategies but I focus on business. So we're going to answer these questions in a business manner. All right, the year of birth is going to be about anyone's branding. It's about your reputation. How far and wide can you spread your message, if you will? It's the people that you know that can help you rise above anything that is happening in your life. So choose your friends wisely, right? And choose your business acquaintances wisely. Hang around people that are smarter than you. And if you're not doing that, step number one is change that. Make sure that you have people that can rise you up, because if you start hanging around with people that are keep lowering your vibration, it's going to lower yours as well. So the month of birth is about your character. It is about your work, what you're best suited at doing. And then your hour of birth is about you. Very, very important. It's about your personal growth. It's about how can you be your best self. It's also about your partnerships. And then the hour of birth is about your legacy. It's about your goals. Are you on the right track about achieving your goals? As well as this is about your investments. It's about all of the money that you're going to accumulate over the course of your life. And then how are you going to invest it so that it can have a definite um, definite way of helping you with your with your retirement and your assets and things like that. So it's not just money, it's also assets. So it could be real estate, it could be your IP, which we want everyone to have some sort of IP that you can, your intellectual property is something that protected, no one can take away from you, right? Okay, so that's your natal chart. So what we're seeing here in this left dial is the yin and yang of your entire natal chart. Now, some of you may not know your hour of birth, but you already just heard that 75% of your chart you can understand. So don't worry if you don't know it. It's best that you do, but you can't do something that is not available to you, right? Okay. So now we look at these 10 archetypes, and this is where it starts splitting, if you will, the yin and yang into these 10 different buckets. So it's basically the 5 elements, but the 10 phases of yin and yang. Now, many people do not have an entire yin and yang of the archetypes. There's going to be some times where there's going to be an element that you don't have at all. So first of all, this person is lucky because she actually has all 5 of the elements in her chart. We know that. So at least that's, step one. We like that. But number 2 is we really do, we start looking at, well, where do we have some issues in our lives and things like that? Well, that's probably where we are lacking something like an element, or we're having some conflict because of maybe a yearly influence. So let's look and answer her question first, and then let me see if I can help you make some decisions. Okay. All right. So first of all, yes, you have 100% wealth generator, which means it would be easier for you, as you have already tested in your life, it will be easier for you to work for someone else. But you made the choice to be an entrepreneur, and now you are in the realm of doing everything on your own, right? So that's the thing that, you do have freedom, if you will, when you do work for yourself, but free time is something you're going to have probably very little of. I'm here to tell you, I've been in an entrepreneur most of my life, and I can tell you that I am working a lot of hours, a lot of hours. And so people who tell you, especially people who, you know, look like they're quite wealthy, and I'm talking about, the Elon Musks of the world, or the Warren Buffetts of the world, and things like that. Do you think they sit around all day and do nothing? No, they're working their tushes off. And so this is something that you really have to understand if you decide to be an entrepreneur. Some of us are made to be entrepreneurs, and then it's like, yeah, I'm in my happy place. You put them into a corporate office, or you put them into a 9 to 5 job, they just feel like you just strangulated them. So there is a difference between the energetics of what your body and your sensibility will have. Now, some of you will have, maybe a 50-50 chance, and you could go either way. But for those of you who see either a very low percentage on the one side or the other, the wealth generator or the entrepreneur, if you see very little and then you see more on the other, it will automatically tell you where you will make the money easiest. It may not be easy, and you may go, oh, I really don't like working in the corporate, but you're going to make more money that way. Okay, so you have made the choice to be an entrepreneur, but you also said maybe it's time I go back to looking for, a job. So being employed by someone else, because if you're working for yourself, you have a huge job. Okay, so really, what do we have to look at here? So we are currently in the dog month, and it is a month. I would have to say, fortunate for you that I'm answering this question now. It is a month to release and let go. So maybe taking some reflective time to start thinking about how would be you best served to um, let go of the idea that you have let go of entrepreneurship, and you want to maybe get back into the corporate or business world, or a 9 to 5 or a salaried job of that sort. So the first thing I would do is, really just give yourself credit that you're being aware of this right now. That's number one. Number two is, what skills do you have that you could maybe, go back to the workforce and, make a nice go of it. You're young enough to definitely do that. And what skills would be, best serving for you? Well, you have a lot of metal in your chart. And so, anything in like the finance, or anything to do, truthfully, with jewelry, would be, because it's yin metal. Anything to do with beauty, that would be something, again, jewelry of some sort. But it's also, legal, or anything to do with speaking your truth. So motivational speaker for sure, but you have very little fire in your chart. So this would mean, like, you'd really, even though you're going through some fire right now, so you'd have a good chance of doing that. But it'd be probably better that you had like a PR person, because that's kind of, these 10 years are they go by very fast, and so you'd probably need some sort of PR person. But you've got fire from 35 all the way through 45, and even into the 55, even though the fire is hidden. But we need fire to get that visibility. So you do have a dog in your chart, and you've got a fire here, so this will help. This will help. But you're really helping people from behind the scenes. So to me, if you really want to stay in entrepreneurship, one of the things you're going to have to learn how to control is all of that water that's in your chart, which is your wealth element. But water likes to flow, right? So it might be hard for you to stay on track when you're trying to get some things done, because water wants to move all the time. And so you might have a lot of ideas, but getting them to the point where you're going to actually make things happen, you might need more structure. So for you, that's why it's better probably if you work for someone else. So to me, it's like looking at an industry that would really bring out the passions of your life. And again, what your output is, what this is what you create, and you create actually a lot of metal. So a lot of metal, the metal industries again would be jewelry, legal, could be accounting. Those would be some places where you could put a little bit of effort in and really help people. So the other side of that is if you really choose to stay in the entrepreneur field, is I would get an extremely good manager that could tell you that they're going to keep you on track, because I think that's probably one of the hardest things that is going to be happening for you of getting into this entrepreneurial is, one, the visibility, and number two is keeping you on track. So you really do have the choice of going, okay, I know that I can make more money when I'm in an employed situation versus trying to make money on my own. So that to me would be where I can't tell you what to do. I can just tell you what your chart is telling you to do. And your chart is telling you that it's going to be easier for you to make money when you are employed by someone else. But again, if you are going to choose to stay, then you're going to need a PR person so you can get the word out about what you're doing, and then maybe a strong manager, CEO type person that is going to really guide you. And then the other thing would be is keeping that more 9 to 5 structure in your, so just like when you were at work, you came into work and you had your certain tasks that you were going to be doing, you have to start structuring your entrepreneurial ideas in that way. So I hope that helped. Hope that helped you. The other thing that I would definitely ask you to consider is for you to start using your personal power directions. So these are directions that you're going to want to face. And so when you're looking, for you, I would be putting my direction towards the northwest. I'd be facing the northwest because that's going to give you some confidence to make some right decisions. Um, this is where I would start is doing those things. So you do have a couple of good animals in your chart that I would definitely be looking at. The dog definitely, even though the dog and the ox have not the greatest relationship, but it does have prosperity in there. So that's in the northwest sector as well. So putting your body as well as the pig, those two animals are located in the northwest. So then we have your day of birth, which is the rooster, and the rooster is phenomenal this year in 2021. As a matter of fact, it even carries over to 2022, and that's located in the west sector of the feng shui of your space, as well as the monkey is the southwest. It's very good for dissolving obstacles. So when you start dissecting out what the animals will do for you annually, and you have a couple animals in your chart that connect with the feng shui of the space, actually I have you 3 out of the 4, is the dog, the rooster, and the monkey. You're going to want to pay attention to tomorrow when we talk about the feng shui, and then maybe you can get some ideas on how to position yourself in those vibrant areas. So as you can see, it's not just looking at your astrology, it's looking at the feng shui, and obviously looking at the universal gateway as well, for you to start using these tools to help you make more informed decisions, because there's jewels in your chart that are being left behind because you made a choice. Again, you're young enough to make a different choice in life, and so holding on to something, figure out what it is that you want to do. That's number one, really. And it's not like, oh, I want to be a feng shui master, or I want to be an accountant, or I want to be, I don't know, an entrepreneur of a tech startup. What is it that you want to do, as far as the end game? What do you want to do with your life? Then, if your life like if you want to travel, for example, which I would highly recommend you doing, because you have 2 travel animals in your chart, the pig and the monkey. So what you probably would be best served at doing is traveling a little bit, and that can clear up actually some ideas on where you want to position yourself. And you have one travel animal, the pig, that is located in your month. So traveling could actually open up some ideas and possibilities for you. So if you are able to do that, I realize we're in lockdown. I'm not even sure where you live geographically, if that would even be, but you don't have to. It would be advised to travel across borders, but let's face it, we're in a lockdown, and there are countries that are not letting other countries in because of what's happening. So you have to really actually kind of be a little bit creative, and you've got creativity because that's what your creation is. So be a little creative. Maybe take a weekend trip. Get on a train or a vehicle and maybe do a weekend thing just to get some things moving, to get some ideas coming into you. Start journaling about the ideas that come, because believe me, when the ideas start flowing, you don't want to forget them. You don't want to miss them. So you're going to have to start thinking on those terms of, hey, I need to make a change in my life. And then that's where we're going to get some really great possibilities. Next week, I think I'm going to talk about the luck cycles, on how important those are, because depending on where you're positioned. So we'll leave that for next week. Alice, maybe if you can remind me of that, that would be great. And so we're going to close it up for now. Hopefully that helped and gave you some guide points of where you can make some decisions, and this will help you to really tap into the chart that you want to live. So don't really start thinking about, like, what is it that I really want in life? And what I'm talking about is, do I want to travel? Do I want to have a family, or the family that I have? Do I want to make the family situation better? Do I want to write a book? Do I want to live in another country to experience, and you fill in the blank? Then have your job support that. That's really how I really want you to start thinking about it. Okay. All right. Hope that helped. And don't leave any more money on the table, sweetie. That's what I want to say to you. So I think it's time for you to really consider if working for yourself is to your best interest. If it's exhausting you and you're not really making it where you know that you did before, I think you already know the answer to that. Okay, so we're going to close it up for now. Thanks so much for tuning in today. We really appreciate it. And may good chi always follow you wherever you may go. Many blessings to you, and we'll see you tomorrow talking about feng shui. Take care. Bye-bye.